Our fourth review topic is called function notation. You guys are usually pretty good about this, so this will be an easy one for you, but function notation is the fancy version of y. If you remember, we started substituting, and instead of writing y's, we could write this f of x. Not f parentheses x, not f times x, f of x. That's how you say this, f of x. Now what f of x does is it gives us the name of the function. We've named this function f. Could have been h, g, or j, or any letter in the alphabet. It also tells you what number or letter you're plugging into that equation. So for example, let's say you're given f of x equal to 2x minus 7. This is really just like saying y equals 2x minus 7. But function notation tells me that this is named f and that I'm plugging in x's, which makes sense because there's an x right here. But function notation questions are going to ask you to evaluate these functions at certain numbers. So the question here says to evaluate f of negative 7. So what this is saying right here, this is saying take the function f and plug in a negative 7. That's what that means. It says take the function f, whatever f is, if it said g, you'd use g, and instead of an x, I want you to plug in a negative 7. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Here we have f of negative 7 instead of x equal to 2. Now, I don't want x's anymore. In the space of the x, I'm going to put a negative 7. Now I put it in parentheses because if I had just put 2 and negative 7, that would have looked like 2 minus 7 instead of 2 times negative 7. So we don't want that. Use parentheses when substituting stuff in. Then we just have to use math. Throw it in a calculator, throw it in Desmos, figure out what this is when you evaluate it. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14. And negative 14 minus 7 is negative 21. So we would say that f of negative 7 is equal to negative 21. Awesome. That's function notation. It told us what function to use and what to plug into it. Then we just do some calculations. You could toss this directly into a calculator right here, toss it into Desmos, type 2 parentheses negative 7 minus 7 into a calculator or Desmos, and it would spit out negative 21 for you. So that you know that if I plug in negative 7, I get out negative 21. Alright, here's one for you to try. You're given the function f of x is equal to negative 5x plus 14, and I need you to evaluate f of 3.5. Pause the video, give it a shot. As you can see, all we're doing for this problem is taking the value 3.5 and plugging that in for every x in the original function notation question. So instead of saying f of x equal to negative 5x plus 14, we're going to write down f of 3.5, which says plug in 3.5 to this function. So we say equal to negative 5 parentheses 3.5, because that a second ago was an x, plus 14. Then all we have to do is actually do some math here. Negative 5 times 3.5 is negative 17.5. Negative 17.5 plus 14 is negative 3.5. So we would know that f of 3.5 is equal to negative 3.5. That's the inputs and outputs for this function. We empower, we impact, we love, we are Skeeter Nation.